Today is August the 30th, 2017, and I was called to this residence because of some problems that this wife is having concerning the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department, the Southern Judicial System, and perhaps the state of Georgia. I am here. I don't get. Have you paid me anything for this?
No, sir.
Okay. Have you given me anything for gas money?
No, sir.
Okay. I do this by my own free will and course, simply because you call me. And the news media probably will not publish this, but we are doing it because we believe you have a right to have your story told. And many people apparently cannot get their stories told, especially in the poor, impoverished communities. So could you tell me, what's your name? Say it loud, please.
My name is Tammy Green.
Speak up a little louder, I'm sorry.
Tammy Green.
Tammy Green, and you're here, you're here to speak on behalf of who?
Aaron L. Green Jr.
And he is your what?
Husband.
Your husband, okay. Do you know me?
No, sir.
Okay, but Aaron knows me, right?
Aaron knows you.
Okay.
Yes.
First of all, we've talked several times. We have even recorded Aaron, but it didn't come out right. And so we decided to come and do this today because you want to highlight what do you want the general public to know about your situation?
Well, basically, I want everybody to know, it's other people out there that's going through the same thing that my husband and I are going through. We're trying to get justice in Lowndes County, but, it's hard. They play dirty. So, I just, want to put my story out there about my husband. He's trying to represent himself, and they are denying him his constitutional rights to do so.
Okay. Well, just state your case to us any way you want to. Just start where you want to start at and just walk it. Just tell your story.
Okay, it first started, my husband got into an altercation with this guy and this young lady, about an 11-year-old girl, from my understanding, from what my husband told me. It was some false things told when they called the police, so they automatically didn't do an investigation. They had no investigation. They didn't go and investigate anybody. They automatically just took a warrant out for my husband's arrest. So he got arrested September the 22nd of 2016 on the charges of terroristic threat, assault with a deadly weapon, and he been in there. He's also was in the same cell with the guy who made the false report. My husband has been trying to represent himself like he's done on many times before, and won.
What's his name again?
Aaron L. Green Jr.
Okay.
And the guy that made the statement, I've talked to him as well, Mr. Derek Grubbs. He informed me, as well as he informed my husband, that he was not pressing charges. He wrote a statement for my husband. He gave me a call, told me that Lowndes County was trying to get him to testify against my husband, but he was not going to do so because they know what really happened, So my husband basically just sitting there. He has filed a habeas corpus back in October 2016. They have not been properly filing his paperwork that he's been sending in. So basically, they're denying him his constitutional rights to represent himself. Also, we've had recordings. We have documents to prove for a fact that Lowndes County has been denying him.
When you say Lowndes County, you mean the Lowndes County
Kirker Court,
jail or
yeah.
courts,
the jail,
state?
The jail, the mail lady. She's been tampering with his mail. Latoya Brown is refusing to file his paperwork on the automated criminal system. She's just stamping his paperwork with a rubber stamp, basically. It's not being filed. I went to court one day and Miss Tracy Chapman told me a bold-faced lie.
And who's Miss Tracy Chapman?
She is the I guess you want to call it the district attorney, the state attorney, or whatever. But Aaron was supposed to be called into the courtroom, and when he wasn't, I asked her, well, why isn't he being called in? She told me, well, he signed a piece of paper. She flat out lied to me in my face. My husband said he never signed a paper. Not only that, it's been times that my husband has been on the court calendar, and they have not even called him in.
Oh, he was on the court calendar. They won't even call him in.
They won't even call him in.
Okay. Hold on just a minute. Facebook watchers, this is George Boss Rhyme to get to Free Press. Aaron Green is incarcerated in the Lowndes County Jail. He's been in there for almost a year. And I talked to him a few weeks ago, and he still has not been able to find any resolve. And so his wife decided that she wanted to do a live video and to talk about her husband's situation, because he and she is concerned about his safety while in the Lowndes County Jail, because they are fully aware about what happened to Kendrick Johnson. And so I'm sorry, my sister, please go ahead.
As I was saying, he has, on many occasions, I have called Miss Latoya Brown. She has been very rude, accusing my husband of yelling at her, but he never did. He just basically asked her, why are you continuing to break the law? She gets upset, hang up the phone. I have had certified mails sent to Latoya Brown, Tracy Chapman, and I think Judge Coward, the one in Thomasville. And the judge said that he did an investigation, but how can you do an investigation in one day? You don't do an investigation in one day. I have went so far. I have spoke with Ashley Polk about the situation, about the mail being tampered with. He told me he was going to talk to my husband. He never did. It's just been a lot of people that we've been trying to reach out to, including the FBI, Dexter Sharper.
What did Dexter Sharper say? He's being what did he say?
Well, he told me the first time we called that he sent someone out there to make sure Aaron got his paperwork. I called him again. He put me on hold and he hung up. I haven't heard anything else from him. We called Reverend Rose. Yes. I called to speak with him. He told me that he would see what he could do. I've never got a call back from him. We went so far as to call the FBI. They was, the stuff that they say, and then they hang up the phone. I've called.
Well, do you have any names that you talked to with the FBI?
It's on recording.
Oh, you got it recorded?
It's everything that we've done is on recording.
Okay, so you're telling me that you can share the recording with me, and of course I can add it to this video. Exactly. Okay, go ahead, continue, man.
So, we've had so many people that we've been trying to get in touch with, civil rights advocates in Atlanta, Albany. We've been trying to get in touch with lawyers. He actually wrote Roger Cross, and I spoke with him yesterday, and he told me he have no idea why my husband is writing him. It's nothing he can do for him.
Now, who's Roger Cross?
Roger Cross is an attorney in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. Did you try any local attorneys, or he didn't try to get public defenders or nothing like that?
But the thing is about that also, let me explain to you about that. Now, he had, for a battery charge, he had got an attorney he had filled out for. But Lowndes County just gave him an attorney named Joshua Halt that I had to wind up calling the state bar and filling out a grievance over that, because Aaron did not fill out an application for an attorney. They just gave him one to keep from him representing himself.
So he want to represent himself?
Yeah.
Do the local officials or the justice system seem to have a problem with him defending himself?
Evidently. I feel like it's a vendetta they have against my husband. I mean,
but he's not a lawyer, right?
No, he's not a lawyer.
Why do you think he would want to defend himself?
He's good. My husband has a 6th grade education.
Okay.
But you know him.
Yeah, I know him. I know.
And if you talk to him, it's just like you would think he have a degree or something in college.
Okay.
He's very intelligent. So My thing is he know the law.
Okay, let's continue about the lawyers now, because you say you tried to get a lawyer, then what?
He got a lawyer that he had signed up for the battery. That was it. But they took it upon themselves to get another lawyer, just give him one that he didn't ask for.
Right.
So he was making calls, which I have that on recording too. He was making calls telling them to take Joshua Halt off his case. He has no business being on his case, or whatever the case may be. That was one of the lies that Tracy Chapman told me about when Aaron supposed to came into the courtroom to get Joshua Halt off his case. She lied to me and told me, oh well, he signed a piece of paper, so that's over with. Aaron never signed a piece of paper. He never talked to the judge. He never spoke with anybody that day. They didn't call him in the courtroom. So, Joshua Halt, I guess, went out there and tried to talk to Aaron or whatever. Aaron, the other attorney, I don't know his name.
Okay, go ahead.
But he went out there and he tried to talk to my husband, and he told my husband, he said, well, just accept the plea bargain of doing a year probation or something like that. And my husband told him he don't make deals with terrorists. And they had the audacity to send a paperwork saying that my husband needed to be evaluated. They wanted him to be evaluated because they think he's crazy, but he's far from crazy. And I just my husband been sitting there. Basically, he's just sitting there.
Well, let me ask you a question. Judge Hugh Lawson ruled in '97. I have a copy of his decree. That's Judge Hugh Lawson, the federal judge. And if I'm not mistaken, he talked about the time limit that people should stay in that jail. And so, for the whole time, the duration he's been in the jail, has he ever gone to court? Did he request to go to court? Bail was set? Or did he pay it? I mean, what was that process before we go further?
All I know, Mr. Rhines, is he did go to court once. Okay, and that's when when he went before Judge, I think his name Judge Cowell, and he put out there about how the people that made these statements against him, those are my kids, right. The statements that they made against him, they never said why the altercation started. They never picked him out in a lineup. That they didn't even know his name.
Okay, you want to check out your video?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Once again, this is to get to Free Press, and I'm George Rhymes, and I'm over to an individual's house, and this is what I do. I do it because often you cannot get the news media to take care of individuals such as this. I remember there was a time when you could call your local newspapers, your local television, and they would tell your story. But once again, the Valdosta, Lowndes County Jail, we have a running history of problems out there. I must admit that as a community activist and a person of truth, that I really thought we had it bad originally under Sheriff Ashley Paul, before Sheriff Prime, but I noticed that when Sheriff Prime came in, it seemed like it got worse. And so now we have Ashley Paul back out there. And I, along with the president of the People's Tribunal, Reverend Rose, asked the question, did the Honorable Judge Hugh Lawson ever follow up on his own court-ordering consent decree in '97? He also gave the Lowndes County Sheriff Department and the Board of Commissioners 2 years to make corrections out there. And to my knowledge, they have not been done.
a night where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. There's a night where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. A night where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. There's a night where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Okay, let's continue.
Basically what I was saying, when he went to court that day, if you ask me, he just basically shut them down by the things that he was presenting to the judge. Tracy Chapman, all she could say was, I have the response for you at the end of the week. It was longer than a week before she did a response. It was longer than a week before Aaron got a copy of her response. So, you know, my husband asked for a video cam, a copy of the video cam of that day when they searched that room that he was out there in. They got his ID, and when they seen his ID, they automatically said, okay, well, this is the person that did it. You know, like
did what?
I guess from what they say, Aaron was poking at them with the box cutter.
Okay.
He was threatening them, and he said it's one woman on there that said he threatened her, and he don't even know who she is. He don't even know what she's talking about. So, you know, he say basically he didn't do anything. He left. They called the police, but nobody mentioned about why did the altercation start. You know, it was about a child. So, like I said, Mr. Derek Grubbs himself has called me, and I have.
Who's Mr. Grubbs again?
Mr. Grubbs is the one of the so-called one of the victims that said Aaron assaulted him and made a terroristic threat. Okay. He called me and told me himself. He said, "I am Derek Grubbs, and I need for you to tell your husband, Aaron Green, that they are Lowndes County is trying to get me to press charges against him." He said, "But I'm not pressing charges against him." So.
Do you have that recording?
I have that recording.
Okay.
Yes, I do. And it's just, you know, it's been a backwards and forth thing. Aaron basically, I feel, just sitting there because they have no evidence, you know, at all. He told me about how Tracy Chapman just told all kind of lies when it came to the response and stuff that she made.
And who's Tracy Chapman again?
The district attorney, state attorney, or whatever.
And where's she located at?
She's located what is the new courthouse?
Okay, the new courthouse. Okay.
So, you know, it's just been the backwards and forth. You know, him him getting stuff late, him not getting stuff at all, him constantly having to have to call the U.S. District Court to find out have they even gotten his paperwork, because again his mail has been tampered with.
Now his mail been tampered with, but did you write the Postmaster General?
What I did do, I even called them. I have that on recording as well. And I called them and spoke with them. And what I was doing, like if I'm sending him some legal work, I will put attention, postmaster or whatever. And a lot of times the mail that Aaron has to get to me was getting it out through somebody else.
Why is that necessary?
Because again, she's tampering with his mail.
She who?
I think her name. What is her name?
Don't guess if you don't know. Just go ahead
don't know.
Just go ahead and make your point. It was deputy though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she I mean it's just been a real hard, almost I can say a year for him.
Okay. Let me kind of change here now, and I want to ask you these questions. So you spoke of habeas corpus. He feel like, what does he feel on that end of it? How does he feel about that?
He just feel like all of them was working together. Everybody's just working against him, trying to stop him, from getting out of jail. As he say, they trying to railroad him. He has not heard anything about his habeas corpus. They cheated him out of that, because they didn't file it properly. He said there's nowhere in the world he should still be sitting there in Lowndes County Jail. Okay,
now his charge on paperwork is what now?
Assault and battery.
And what date did this happen on?
Oh my God.
Okay, go on. Terrorist threats. What is that?
Terrorist threat, assault, and battery, which all are felonies.
Okay, right.
So, right. He hadn't got a bond. It's not like he.
Okay, so he's been in there for almost a year and never had a bond.
No.
Never had a bond hearing.
No.
He's never been before a judge either.
No.
Now, when y'all called me, about 3 weeks ago it was?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I recorded him, and I went out there because his name was listed on a sheet. I went out there to actually sit in and see what was going on. And to my knowledge, he never showed up. I sat there.
That's something that they've been doing the whole while he been in there. And I spoke with him about what you said.
Yeah.
He said he don't know nothing about him being on the calendar.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, he was on the sheet when I went out there. I got that sheet from a sheriff deputy that was sitting there in the courtroom.
Yep.
So, if I'm going to ask you this now, you may need to ask him, and we're going to interview him later at another day maybe, but this is going to go up on YouTube. This is going live. I'm finding out that the things that was brought up about that jail and due process and people staying in that jail for long periods of time, not seeing their court-appointed attorney, including public defenders, I'm finding out that the same thing that happened back in '94 is still going on. Mm-hmm. And Judge Lawson ruled that these things would be fixed. Mm-hmm. And apparently they are not. Mm-hmm. So you have, just pull out some of your paperwork there if you don't mind. We know his charges. I want the people across the world to understand that this is just one case. I have a lot of people telling me pretty much the same thing as she's telling me about people sitting in jail, and even the court-appointed attorneys will only come to these people on the day of their trial. And some of them get in the courtroom and have to ask who the individual is. And I'm going to be honest with you. Under our form of government, I don't believe this should happen. But if the news media, including myself, and the television stations, refuse to get this information out to the general public, nothing is going to change.
Exactly.
Nothing is going to change.
Exactly.
There's a lion in the world. I wonder who will wake him. Don't stop. The night where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. There's a night where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. A night where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. There's a night where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. There's a life where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. The violence of this beast must cease. There's a lion in Judah. I wonder who will wake him. There's a lion in Judah. I wonder who will wake him. Get up now. There's a lion in Judah. I wonder who will wake him. The night where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. The night where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. It's a night where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. There's a night where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
But if the news media, including myself, and the television stations, refuse to get this information out to the general public, nothing is going to change.
Exactly.
Nothing is going to change.
Exactly.
So, Aaron, when I talked to him, he had his stuff down point, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
That's right.
And so all I'm asking you to do is just, you don't have to go into the documents, but tell me a little bit about the documents you got there, and then we're about to close it out. I want a copy. I may have to get a copy of each one of those documents because I want the people that watch this, not only am I doing it live, I'm also recording it on my video. And I want to put those documents, and I know how to block out personal information. But what are you holding now?
What I'm holding right now is a letter that my husband had sent to Beth C. Green. That was February the 27th, 2017. Requesting the proper filing of enclosed documents.
Okay.
And you know, he sent her that.
Mm-hmm.
They stamped it March the 3rd, 2017. Bessie Green, Clerk, Superior Court, State Court, Juvenile.
Okay. Okay.
And the other thing that I have is his demand of a speedy trial.
Yes.
That was filed, well, he sent it, let's see, I got it mixed up here. Based on all his stuff, this paperwork here was sent February the 27th, and then he has an order that he has sent, where it says the above and foregoing demand for trial have been presented and considered at the time when there are jurors impaneled and qualified to try the defendant, and the defendant having served a copy of the foregoing demand for trial on the prosecutor, the defendant is granted permission to file a demand for trial pursuant to old CGA S 17-7-170.
Okay, we that's like Greek to some of us, but check this. He mentioned to me, and we finna close this out. He mentioned to me about documents not being filed with the clerk of the court.
That's right.
And therefore, if it's not, can you explain on that a little bit? He rolled it out, but how did that work?
Well, actually, we've had to call. We have made calls that we have on recording, speaking to someone else of the clerk of the court besides Latoya Brown, and they only have one case number that's in the system. One of the cases are not even in there in the computer. You know, and how he know for a fact that they're not stamping his paperwork and putting on the automated criminal system is that same lawyer that came out there, the one that he did hire. He asked him, he said, "What is this stamp?" He said, "Oh, that's just a stamp saying that they received it. It's not a stamp that says..."
From the clerk of the court.
That's right.
Which means it's in the system.
That's right.
And documented.
That's right.
So
that wasn't the stamp.
So that's what he was saying to me, that
yes.
He said he quoted the law. He knows he's pretty sharp.
Yes, he is.
And he quoted the law where it says that if it comes through like that, it's supposed to have that stamp.
Yep.
And that's a state law.
That's right.
And he said the documents that he filed didn't go through that process.
Exactly. None of his paperwork been going through that process.
None of the paperwork. And I even asked him. Right. I asked him during my interview. I asked him, did he think other people, other inmates, were going through the same thing? And he said yes.
Yes, because he has been helping a lot of them with learning the law and teaching them the law while he's in there. Letting them know, look, they're trying to railroad you. This is what you do. And he has helped a lot of people. You understand what I'm saying? But the thing is that, you know, they just putting the people in there and they don't care anything about them. You know, it's just sad that, and he told me, he said, "Baby," he said, "they are railroading our people." He said, "You ought to see our people in here. They are railroading them." And he said, "It's not right. It's not fair." And he said, "Lowndes County will be punished for what they're doing. They cannot continue to keep doing what they're doing and think they're going to get away with it."
Well, they've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
The late Al Parson, who owned the Lake Park newspaper, he gave me a book that I don't talk about much. I got it filed in 3 states. And it's a lot of people that have been in unique situations out there at that jail. And they never received any justice. And so how does Aaron Green feel about his safety, maybe, since if he's helping people, and if he's been sitting out there for this long period of time, and he know the law, does he fear for his life, you think, or what?
Well, if you know Aaron, and I know you know Aaron, Aaron not afraid of anything, but he always makes a statement to me. He say, even if he has to die to get his story out there, even if whatever it takes to get the truth out there and to expose Lowndes County, that's what he's going to do.
I wonder who will wake him. There's a lion in Judah. I wonder who will wake him. There's a lion in Judah. I wonder who will wake him. The lion, where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. There's a lion, where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. A lion where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. There's a lion where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. There's a lion where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. The violence of this beast must cease. There's a lion in Judah. I wonder who will wake him. There's a lion in Judah. I wonder who will wake him. Get up now. There's a lion in Judah. I wonder who will wake him. Don't stop.
And I have not done a lot of things that my husband has asked me to do because I feel the same thing. You know, I got kids. We have children, so, you know, I'm afraid that they may attack me, you know, some kind of way. I just don't trust it.
Well, very few people have any confidence in the whole judicial system here and law enforcement. And a lot of it is based on the way other people and other family members have been treated. Now, I'm going to ask you a personal question because I think this is your responsibility. Have you ever called a press conference with the Valdosta Daily Times, ABC, CBS, NBC, or local Fox News channel to tell your story? Because I'm finding a lot of people don't believe that these news media outlets will tell their stories.
And they won't, because I have called someone. So has my husband, and I was on the phone with him. And one reporter told him, I don't think we'll travel that far for that kind of story, and hung up the phone.
Now, I'm going to try my best to let the people know what's going on here in Valdosta. I've been doing it for a long time. And I'm not going to stop because I served 20 years in the military. I took an oath and obligation. And now I'm back home. I retired in '91. I feel obligated to assist you and other people, and I am assisting people. I'm working 18 to 35 cities right now, dealing with voter rights and how they are railroading newly elected black officials. This is just one small thing that I'm doing. A lot of people don't appreciate it, but they don't understand that if we keep allowing wicked people and so-called righteous folk and Christians to do what they do, there will never be a change. And so as we close this out, I want you to state your husband's name once again.
His name is Aaron L. Green Jr.
And he's been in jail for almost, when will be a year? September the what?
September the 22nd.
And you say he's been in there, and have he ever faced a judge?
He's faced the judge when I went with him. That was like about a month or so ago. And he did go before a judge one time, and the judge put him out the courtroom because he went to quoting the law to him, and he put him out and told him, look, I don't want to hear that today.
Okay. So he's never had a bond.
Nope.
Never had a bond issue.
Nope.
Is he waiting for a bond? Anybody told him about a bond?
Nope. No, sir.
Nobody have given you a amount to try to get him out?
No, sir.
And what was it charged again?
His charges are terroristic threat, assault with a deadly weapon.
And no bond in almost a year. Okay. So what judge did he face the only time before a judge? You know what name of the judge you went to?
The only judge I know about was when I was there, because I can't remember that far back.
Okay.
Was I think it was Judge Cowell.
Judge Cowell.
And I thought he was being very lenient and trying to be understanding. Every time he asked Miss Chapman, and what do you have to say about this, about what Mr. Green? I have to, I will let you know at the end of the week. That's all she kept saying, you know, and it was over a week.
There's a night when he's in juvenile sleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. It's a night where he's in juvenile sleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. There's a I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. The lion, where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. There's a lion, where he's in Judah asleep. I wonder who will wake him, bring him to his feet. Speak now, or forever hold your peace.
tell other people who may be going through the same thing that you're going through?
Well, what I will tell other people is, trust God, for one. Lean on Him, not on your own understanding. But if you can reach out to someone, if you know somebody who's going through the same thing that you're going through, please say something. Try to contact somebody, because that's what we've been doing, trying to contact somebody, and we finally got a hold of you, Mr. Rise. Don't continue to let them do what they're doing, because it's not fair, it's not right. They are tampering with people's constitutional rights, and we have a right. We have a right to represent ourselves. We have a right to do things. So don't let them take that from us. It's too many people that has died and fought for those rights for them to be stolen and taken from us.
Thank you very much. My phone just went out, so live feed is out. But these same people know me, and I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel, Boston G.B.R. Maybe we'll set up another meeting so we can talk to Aaron and let him tell his story. I wanted you to mention while we were live the videos that you have. Can you give me a short synopsis of the recording that you have?
Three different phones. This one on there.
Okay. Do you have a way of taking them off?
I don't know. I got a recording on my phone now. It records every conversation. So, let me see. All calls.
I'll cut this off. Go ahead.
For the state of Georgia. Your call will be answered in the order it was received. Thank you.
Tell them to be quiet in the back, huh? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you still waiting for it to rain or what?
Yeah, something.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I miss you and I love you. I'm just trying to see what God might do, man. God might bless you with a breakthrough somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the third time I done called the FBI this week. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
I know they rude is all outdoors.
They unprofessional. They unprofessional, and the thing is that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, come on, man. Hello?
Your call is important. Got you on hold, child. Your call will be answered in the order it was received. Thank you.
No, they ain't got me on hold. You just got me in the call. You you're in the calling block.
Same thing. Got you on hold.
Same old thing. It don't really matter. It's better than that hopefully that the same person that answered the phone that called the last time don't answer the phone. What time are you?
425.
Huh?
425.
425. You know you can talk a whole lot lower when you got me on speakerphone, right?
I make it my business to whisper.
Baby, I went. I'll take it like that.
The phone was ringing.
Attorney General's office.
Hey, yes ma'am, could I please speak to your civil rights department, please?
One moment, please. Attorney General's office. How may I help you?
Hey, good afternoon, ma'am. I was calling. This is the civil rights department.
Yes, it is.
Yes, ma'am. I was calling. My name is Aaron Lewis Green Jr. Right now I'm calling about the violation of my rights by government officials here in Lowndes County, Georgia, but also Georgia. I've been calling. I've been calling all over the place. I tried to call everybody in the world. And the only thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to secure my constitutional rights, ma'am, and try to get somebody to try to look into the circumstances. So I got physical evidence. I got recorded phone calls. I got paperwork to prove that the Lowndes County Clerk's office is depriving me of my right to represent myself. I got evidence to prove that them as well as officers here inside the jail, along with other officers inside the Lowndes County jail, are conspiring against my rights and conspiring against. I would think even my life, and it's not a joke. I'm not just joking about it when I say this. These people are refusing me my right to represent myself. They're refusing me every right that's secured to me up under the United States Constitution as well as the Georgia Constitution. And I'm just trying to get somebody to please look into what's going on in my situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing everything in my power, my legal right, to try to, notify the appropriate authorities for some type of review or some type of insight or somebody to investigate or to look into what's going on.
All right, hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute.
I can't get over Latoya Brown. She hung the phone up.
This one I hit her with the law. Hello? She's still got me on hold. I'm trying to see. Lord, please bless me with a breakdown. Someone.
You ain't got long. You ain't got long before that phone hangs up. You got about like 4 more minutes.
Yeah. Okay, that's the way that she come back home. Like this. I'll call back and forth with her and phone.
Hey,
Attorney General's office, can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. Could I give the rights department, please?
Okay, hold on, please.
that's somebody she had done transferred you to.
I already know that. But then she transferred, yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon. Hello? Hello?
Attorney General's office?
Yes, ma'am. Civil rights department, please.
Is there someone you're looking for in civil rights?
No, ma'am. I won't. Negative.
Megan, can I help you?
Wait, hello?
Yes, can I help you?
This is who? Who am I speaking with?
This is Megan.
Megan. Alright, Megan, I was trying to call and speak up with actually the clerk herself. Is Green in today?
No, it's Friday. She normally leaves around 12 on Friday.
Okay, then, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to locate, are you aware of, somebody by the name of Bruce G.B.R. that's, employed by the clerk's office?
We don't have a Bruce in our clerk in the Lowndes County Clerk's office. We don't.
You don't have
We
a
only
Bruce in it?
No, we only have 2 males, and neither one are named Bruce.
So anybody by the name of Bruce Barnes employed by the district attorney's office?
I could transfer you up there. That name sounds familiar, but I don't know where he works.
Okay, yeah. The reason why is because I'm trying to confirm the delivery of some certified mail. And he received mail for somebody that was located as well as in the clerk's office, as well as somebody that's located in the state attorney's office. And I'm trying to confirm the reception of that mail. And I'm really trying to speak directly with him, or either find out who he's employed by, because it's kind of crazy to me that the same person will receive mail for a county employee as well as a state employee.
Right. I don't know who that is, but what do you mail in?
Let me ask you. I mailed in some certified mail, some legal notices to 2 different people. But let me ask you this: I had a habeas corpus pending in civil court. There should have been pending in civil court. It's supposed to be filed on March 21st. My name is Green, Aaron Green.
Is there an E at the end of the screen?
No E-M-E-M, ma'am.
What year was it filed, do you know?
It's supposed to have been filed on March 21st, 2017.
In Lowndes County.
In Lowndes County.
And it's A or A-R?
A-A-R-O-N. Yes, ma'am.
What's your middle name?
Louis.
The only thing I've got is a 2016 scary face, but that's for Brooks County bonding. That's not an actual, I don't have a habeas with here. But what I can do is I can transfer you to Michael, who gets all the habeas cases.
Michael? Yes.
Michael. I can transfer you to him, and he might be able to speak with you about whether it's been filed, whether he's got it on his desk, and it just hasn't been filed in yet.
Hey, thank you so much, man. That would be excellent. And Michael, and what's his last name? Michael who?
Oh, don't make me butcher that for you. It's H-E-B-E-R-T. Herbert or Hebert. He says it weird.
Okay.
I don't really know how to say it.
I understand. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not the best at pronouncing either thing. And if I may, ma'am, just for records, I apologize. If I could get your last name, please.
It's Riley. R-I-L-E-Y.
Hey, thank you so much, ma'am. God bless you, and you have a wonderful day, okay?
All right, let me transfer you. Hold on one second, okay?
Thank you.
Sorry, Michael G.B.R. is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Good afternoon, Mr. Michael. I was calling on behalf of Mr. Aaron Lewis Green Jr. Unfortunately, I received some documents pertaining to a habeas corpus he had filed here at my house at 4016 Sandy Run Drive. This is also calling on behalf of his wife. Would you please call me back 229-444-1257? Would you please also contact her and notify her as to the filing about the habeas corpus, because these filings of this and copies of this paperwork should have went to him at the Lowndes County Jail. I'm not pretty sure why the copies came here. Could you please get back with me as soon as possible about this? Thank you. Have a blessed day.
You know what?
That's it.
Hello, and thank you for calling the Lowndes County. We are located at 327 North Denver. Clerk's office. Yes, hello?
Yes, clerk's office.
Yes, who is speaking with you, please, ma'am?
This is Latoya.
Man, hey, how you doing, Miss Latoya Brown? This is Aaron Green. I'm calling in reference to the paperwork you received from me on the 29th.
Yes.
Did you properly file it upon the automated system, ma'am?
It was filed, and you'll get your copies in the mail.
What did you file it upon the automated system? Come on, the automated system, ma'am.
It was filed, and you'll get your copies.
No. Yes or no?
First of all, don't call me yelling at me. It was filed.
Somebody yelling at you. I'm asking you legitimate questions. Did you correctly file my paperwork upon
It's filed. It is
the
filed.
criminal automated system? Okay.
It's filed. Okay.
I hope you'll make sure you check my forms.
She hung up.
Yeah, I know she gonna go. It's all good. I already got it. It was filed. It was filed. She kept saying it was filed. Okay. They did not be signed against the automated system. And these certified men you gonna send to the Attorney General against her. And I want to prosecute it. And I'm gonna send my next certified men to the FBI and the Attorney General's office. Here, point blank. The next time you do it too, all thing you gotta check at the bottom certified mail. Baby, you hear me on that card?
Yeah.
Certified mail. You know. Can I help you? Hey, how you doing, sir? Is this directly a reporter for Action 2 News? This is the news assignment desk. What's going on? Hey, sir. Right now, I'm trying to find a news reporter, somebody that will cover my story. Right now, currently, sir, I'm in Loudoun County Jail, and I've been deprived of every constitutional right that I have a right to. I have an ongoing conspiracy. I have evidence of this. I have where I've been deprived of my right to proceed pro se. I have a clerk of court, a deputy clerk of court, which she's refusing to properly file my paperwork. Okay, I will tell you we're not going to probably go down to Lowndes County for something like that, but I appreciate the call. Good luck. Thank you. Bye.
WALB. Hello, ma'am. Hello? WALB.
Hey, how you doing, ma'am?
Good.
This is a reporter. This is a reporter.
No, I can let you talk to somebody in the newsroom, okay?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Newsroom.
Hey, how you doing, ma'am?
Good, how are you?
Yes, indeed. Hey, ma'am, I was calling in reference to some constitutional violations. Right now, currently, my brother is in the Loudoun County Jail, and he's being deprived of every right that he has. Currently, even right now, he's trying to get somebody to get some type of exposure in this situation because he has evidence. He told me he has evidence that the clerk of court in Loudoun County is refusing to properly file his paperwork according to Georgia law. He also has evidence where they have already got physical evidence where they've already improperly filed his paperwork. He has recordings, all type of different evidence where he can corroborate his story. And he's trying to get some type of exposure with somebody to cover his story where he can get some type of justice because evidently the ongoing conspiracy against his right is, otherwise he ain't getting no justice.
Could you email what he has to our news email address? That way all of our reporters will see it. And then if they're interested in sharing the story with you, they can call you back.
Okay. So could you quote that email address for us, please, ma'am?
Yeah, it's news@walb.com.
Okay. Hey, ma'am, I thank you so much. God bless y'all for everything that you do. And I pray and hope that you would maybe mention his story. His name is Aaron Lewis Green Jr. And he's housed in the Lowndes County Jail at this time. So when you run across